All right, everybody, welcome back. You can see here I have a new shirt. That means it is a new day. That means I am back from work. I've eaten, and now I get to record videos about my favorite class in Arena. Everybody's favorite class in Arena, Mage. Mage is the class everyone loves. Mage is the class everyone likes to play so much. Why? Because it is by far the most balanced class that you will ever find in Arena. And it's balanced in that it's the only class that fucking works other than Death Knight. So, what did they do for Mage? I mean, did they do anything to make them worse? Did they give them just like a mediocre set? No. Let's give them one of the best sets in the whole expansion. And let's just see how that goes. All right. So, let's get started. Our first card here, not exactly a great card, but the card you're going to take, Cryopreservation. So, 2 mana, freeze an enemy, little over, excavate a treasure. So it's 2 mana to freeze an enemy and to get a treasure. So, like, you compare this to Glacial Shard. That's 1 mana, you get a 2-1, it's got elemental stuff. But you know how useful that is. This is 2 mana, you get a treasure, and the treasure is probably going to be a lot better than a Glacial Shard. So, is it great? No, but it's part of the Excavate package. And remember that Mage, their Excavate package is probably the best one of the whole set. So here, I think it's a borderline 2 to 3 star card. I'm going to say 3 stars in general. Overflow Surger, next card. Finally, they got a bad card. So I'm going to copy this for each turn in a row you've played an Elemental. So, let's say you play an Elemental turn before this and you play this. You get a mediocre 4-drop. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great by any stretch. If you play multiple turns of it, you get a bunch of 3-2s, but 3-2s kind of die to AoE. So it's one of these cards where even if you get the synergy for it, I just don't see it working. So that's why I have it as a 1-star card. So, wow, Mage, they have some pretty weak cards. Wow. Oh, wait. We got a common. Sunset Volley. Deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemies. Summon a random 10-cost minion. Alright, so for reference, just to take a look here. Alright, this is what I had before. Let's just take a look at... I don't need dragons here. Among all cards, what are the 10-cost minions that you can get? Let me sort by type. So from all the sets here. So you're going to get Living Monument, a 10/10 taunt. That's pretty insane. King Pharaoh's 5/5. That's mediocre. Titans. I don't think ENR is going to be in there, so Titans don't count. Deathwing. What's in here? Yeah, so Deathwing, or Colossus of the Moon. So you're not going to get ENR or Sea Giant. So you're getting either a 12/12, a 10/10 with Divine Shield and Reborn, a 10/10 with Taunt, an 8/8. Or at the very worst, a 5/5. Those are your 5 options. Even the 5/5 is not bad. But Colossus of the Moon off this is absolutely insane. And let's be clear here. 10 damage randomly split among all enemies. So I think this is a little bit worse than Firelands. I think, yeah, the cost does matter. But the fact that you've got this, the fact that it can clear up multiple things. Like I felt with I feel split damage is better than direct damage when you get to a certain point because you're usually not using it. So with this, you get its end cost, you get it split. You probably have stuff where you can trade off to manipulate this, and you get potentially a 10-cost minion. I think this is a borderline 5-star, 6-star card. I'm going to say 5, just because. And I think it might be a little lower than I rank it. It's right on that border. You know what's not a borderline 5-star card? You want to know what's a 6-star card? A Blast Mage Minor. What is Blast Mage Minor? Battle Cry, excavate a treasure. For each card in your hand, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. So, number 1, this works with Blast. This is an excavate card, so you want to take this. Number 2, 6 mana 4/4. So 6 mana 4/4 draw card. But then, for each card in your hand, including the card you just excavated to fill back up your hand, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. So, you can just play this and Pyroblast your opponent's face. Because if you've played Mage, you know how big those hands are. You know how great this card is going to be. Like it's a whatchamacallit, it's a Tainted Remnants, the 5-mana 7/4, except you don't need to have the elemental synergy. You don't need to like hold elementals to do that. You just need to like play Mage, get a bunch of stuff, and then just play this and blow up your opponent multiple times. So yeah, this is an easy 6-star card. This is a card you're gonna want. It's great for everything that you would want as a Mage. It plays perfectly into how you play right now. Just insane card. Okay, Heat Wave. Deal 2 damage to an enemy minion and its neighbors. Quick draw to all enemies instead. So it's a shooting star, 1 more mana for 1 more damage, which is okay. Sometimes shooting star you just need that damage. Sometimes you combo it with what's its name? I don't know what that one is. I forget the name. It's the Naga 2/4 that summons the 2 1/2s that have spell power. So the quick draw to all enemies is I mean, that's not really that important here. So overall, I think this is a good card. I think it's a 3-star card. Like it's an AoE. It clears. It might do face damage. Situationally good. Stargaze. Draw a different arcane spell. If you play it this turn, cast it twice. So here's the problem with this card, and I'm going to assume that this is going to work with this. So let's get rid of minions. Let's go here to Spell School. Let's go to Arcane. How many of these spells do you want to play twice? Arcane Breath. Okay, obviously you'll want to play that one. You want to have that activate twice. Shooting Star, maybe. Ancient Mysteries. Are you going to have enough secrets for that? Arcane Intellect. Like, do you... You have too many cards already. Is drawing 4 cards really that great? Counterspell, it's completely useless. Kabbalah's Tome, like, again, you're just basically filling your hand. Wisdom of Norgannon, you're just filling your hand. So the one use of this is if somehow you have very few cards, you play this, you draw a card draw effect, you play that card draw effect, and you just completely fill your hand out of nowhere. I mean, that's basically the use for this. And then maybe you get things like the Dragon's Breath where you can activate it twice. So overall, I think it's a mediocre card. It's just it's Spell School specific. It's 2 mana to draw this card, and there just aren't things that work with it. So that's why I have it as 2 stars. No, not 2/8, 2-star. Reliquary Researcher. Battlecry, if you've excavated twice, cast 2 random Mage secrets. So, are you going to excavate twice? Maybe. Is this going to be on curve as an excavate twice card? No. So I can't really go that high on it. And 2 random Mage secrets, that's great, but that's for like, but it depends what the secrets are. So I can't really go that high. I think a 4 mana 3/5 would be about a 50. I'm going a 55 on this. I think it's only going to be okay. Azurite Vein. When the enemy plays a card on their turn that entered their hand, get a copy that costs 0. So if they draw a card and play that card, you get a copy that costs 0. So you're spending 3 mana to get a card, and you're hoping it's a big card that costs 0 for you. I think if it's an RNG thing, sure. If it's like a late game situation, sure. Overall, I don't see the value in this. I don't see the value in this. I have it as borderline 2-star to 1-star. I'll say 2 stars. Tailthin Bloodwatcher. Cards that didn't start in your deck cost 4 less, but not less than 1. You get so many cards that don't start in your deck. So you play this, and then you just throw a bunch of stuff out on the board, and you can just empty your hand. You can do a bunch of things with this. This is going to be really, really good in Arena. That's why I have it as a 4-star card. You just have so much randomly generated stuff. And then finally, Mezzadune the Fractured. Where are you? Battlecry, draw an elemental, split it into 2 halves. So when you split it into 2 halves, you get the battle cry or the text or whatever stays the same. It's the stats and the cost that are split into 2 halves. And when you look at the elementals, this is actually a lot better than you'd probably expect at first. Because most elementals that are going to be in here are going to be cards that you want. Okay, so let's take a look. Ragnaros, I mean, that's great. Mana Giant, because they both have the same thing. Siamet, I mean, 3/3, 4/4, and Geddon, this is good for like AoE. Animated Avalanche, this is kind of, it's like a worse version of Grand Finale, but you're going to be taking this, so you can get multiples of these, and you can just keep chaining it. You have Tainted Remnant, this is obviously insane. Hailbringer, and Cloud Prince, if you've got secrets, sure, then you've got two ways. You've got two activations of this. This is like 12 damage face for 5 mana. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. Unchained Gladiator, you get to draw. Tar Creeper, the bonus, it still gets +2 attack on its turn. That's great. Melted Maker, and so you get a lot of these cards where you take a look at them, and they have like Zephyrs. You get 2 Zephyrs in your hand. You get so many of these cards have great effects to them that you want this. It'll draw an elemental. Like there's the occasional thing, there's the occasional mediocre thing, like an Emerald Sky Talon that you kind of don't want, or Flame Remnant, or a Melted Maker. But so many of these things, like Tainted Remnants, have such a high amount of potential if you get 2 of these in a row, that I think that this is going to be an absolutely great card. And plus, it fills up your hand. It does a lot of stuff. So overall, 5 stars. And then finally, the Excavate Treasure. The Excavate Treasure is the Azurite Hawk. The Azurite Hawk. Get a random Titan. It costs 1. You know how Blizzard, they got rid of all those Titans, right? Well, fuck you, Mage still gets Titans. And they get it with like a really, really, really good excavation package. The Freeze helps stall out to get to it. The other card, the Blast Mage, just starts blasting, blows up everything. And then if that's not enough, you get the Azurite Hawk that gives you 1 mana Titan. And fuck you, whoever plays Mage. Like, seriously. Alright. So yeah, I'm picking Mage. Pick Mage every time, and then basically make your opponents want to kill themselves. Alright. We go on to Paladin. Paladin got some good stuff. My problem with Paladin is Paladin got good healing. Paladin got the problem with Paladin is extremely reliant on having a giant hand, and Paladin does not necessarily, like, unlike Mage, Paladin does not necessarily have the ways to generate a bunch of stuff into their hand. So overall, I'm not really sold on the Paladin package. I think it's strong. I just think like other classes do it better, and I don't think you're going to be able to out-control or just out-heal. I don't think you'll be able to keep your hand size that high enough to consistently do that. But let's take a look at what they got. So first one here is Prismatic Beam. Deal 3 damage to all enemies, cost 1 less for each enemy minion. Okay, so if your opponent has 3 enemies on the board, this costs 4 mana. If your opponent has 7 enemies on the board, this costs 0 mana. So, Prismatic Beam, you're probably only going to use it, like, if you're going to use it against 2 minions, you probably really need it, and that's fine. And if you're going to use it against 3 or 4 minions, then it's going to be above average for what it does. So, this is, obviously, I'm going to say it's a great AoE. I mean, I think it's great. I think the mana cost is really good. I think sometimes you just need that. It goes face. So overall, I think this is a great card. I think this is a 5-star card. Premium AoE. Next one here, Holy Cowboy. Battlecry, your next spell, Holy Spell, costs 2 less. So we take, I compare this to, Mage has the Elemental, the Aqua Artificer or something. It's the 2 mana 2/2 that makes your next Elemental cost 2 less. That gets a lot of points. I mean, that's an actually decent card compared to like what a regular 2/2 would be. So this is a regular stat of 3 mana 2/3 that your next holy gives you a 2 mana discount on pretty much whatever holy spell you're going to cast. I mean, I think that's great. I think there's certain holy spells where this is going to be really, really good. The Tempo is going to help you. Is it as good as the Archivist? No, but I think this is going to be a 4-star card. Next one here, Lawful Longarm. Rush, Lifesteal, Battlecry, gain 1 attack for each card in your hand. So, if you have 4 cards in your hand, plus this is a 5 mana, 5/5 with Rush and Lifesteal, and that's really good. I think that's a reasonable assumption to make. Now, if you're unlucky and you get a Paladin deck and you have no cards in your hand, this sucks. Still, I think this is going to be Really, really, really good card, especially if you draft around it, especially if you try to actually build kind of like a value Paladin. So I'm going to go 4 stars on this. I'm going to say I could be wrong. This could be a lot worse here. I'm just saying I think this will work. Deputization Aura. Your leftmost minion has 3 attack and lifesteal, lasts 3 turns. Okay, so for this one, it's 3 mana, whatever. Like it's a permanent effect that whatever you're going to have on there is going to have 3 attack. So you can kind of manipulate what you're going to do here. You can use this for trades. You can use this for a lot of things. Is it as good as Crusader Aura? No, because Crusader Aura can snowball. This is more of like you have a bunch of small things you want to trade off, and you want to make this as strong as possible. And also because of the aura effect, you can never really get rid of it unless your opponent unless you keep nothing on the board. So I think overall, this is a decent card. It's a good card. I don't think it's a great card, so I think it's only going to be 3-star card. Hi-ho, Silverwing. Please be away. It is not away. Okay. So it's 2 mana, 2/1 Divine Shield. That by itself is already good for a 2-drop. Death Rattle, draw Holy Spell. So you're getting a premium statted 2-drop that is going to give you a spell. This is great. This is insane. You take this. This is a 5-star card. This is going to be like one of those cards that you really want, especially for big Paladin. Lay Down the Law. Tradable. Set a minion's attack and health to 1 quick draw, then deal 1 damage to it. So, this is a Hex, or this is a Polymorph without the transform, for 2 mana. And you can trade it if you don't want it. And if you draw it, you just get to kill with it. I mean, this is obviously great. The lack of transform does hurt it, but this is still going to be a very, very good card. So, 4 stars. Showdown, give both players summon 3/3 outlaws, give yours rush. This is designed so that you have some sort of synergy for it. It's Arena, you're not going to have the synergy for it. Like you're supposed to do like Showdown plus Prismatic beam, and then just blow up the board like that combo. You have Crusader Aura where you get to kill yours and you get a bunch of 4/1s and things like that. I mean, the opponent has a big board, and then you get to play this, and you get extra rush. I don't see it working. It's a symmetrical effect that is way too situational to set up. I think it's a 1-star card. Living Horizon. 10 mana, 4/6 taunt, costs 1 less for each card in your hand. So again, my assumption is if you've got 4 cards in your hand, then this is going to be 6 mana for a 4/6 Divine Shield taunt, and that's Sunwalker. And that's pretty easy to get. And then you just keep on, and then this can get really, really cheap. So again, it's each other card, so it does not count this. So it has to be 4 other cards. So you can get it down to a minimum of 1, unless you've got something that just like does your hand, or it increases your hand size, which I don't think there is in the game. So overall, I'm going to say 3 stars. Spirit of the Badlands. 3 mana, 3/4. If your deck has no duplicates, get a permanent Mirage. What is a Mirage? At the start of your turn, transform into a copy of a minion in your deck. So, basically, what this means is, if you play this on 3, the Mirage, this is always going to be in your hand. And the Mirage is always going to be an extra card in your hand. And you can play it, and then you can just like get it back the next turn. So this is basically 1 extra card each turn, and for nothing. And that's insane. Also, because this comes out on 3, this actually avoids the Death Knight problem, where Death Knights fill your deck with plagues, because you can play this, you can keep this, and hopefully they won't like plague your deck. Like it might actually be beneficial to just not do anything on turn 2 to prevent them from using the spell that puts plagues in your deck. If you have this, to play this on 3 to guarantee that it will go off. But anyways, good. Okay, 3 mana, 3/4 is good. The effect is absolutely insane. This is a 6-star card. This is one of those cards that just will win you games by being able to play it and being able to, with the other cards, leverage your health to get eventually card value. Last card here, the Badlands Bandits get 8 3/2 bandits of bonus effects. Any that can't fit into your hand are summoned instead. So they're the standard bonus effects, Divine Shield, Rush, Taunt, things like that. So any that can't fit into your hand, so this makes your hand, fills your hand, which makes it work with like the other cards in the set. It gives you some board if you've got a full hand. I think this is actually pretty decent in Arena, because either you're filling your hand with three twos, but that's still good, or you're filling your board, and that's really good. So overall, I think this is going to be a good card. I don't think it's a great card. I think it is pickable, though I do say it's a 3-star card. So overall, Paladin got good cards. My problem is I don't know if Paladin got enough to be able to compete with the other classes. Okay, next one here is Priest. Priest sucks. Like, Priest being on top is really annoying, but what Priest got in here, they got a bunch of decent cards, but they didn't get anything good. They didn't get anything overpowered. They got a bunch of stall. The stall isn't going to help. They don't really have any generation or anything like that. So it's just, Priest is bad. That's just what I'm going to say. I'm miserable. I was miserable reviewing Priest and Rogue, just because like none of their stuff works. So let's take a look at why none of their stuff works. Injured Hauler. Okay, 3 mana, 3/7, deal 4 damage to this minion, overheal, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. This sounds good, but we've already got a legendary that has the same effect, and that legendary is mediocre. So we know that this is going to be mediocre. We've played with Injured Blade Master. We know how it is pretty hard to even get the full health, much less to, it's hard to get the full health, much less to get it to overheal. So overall, it's really just a 3 mana, 3/3. That's a 2-star card. Nothing there. Tramp Heist. Get a copy of each card your opponent played last turn. So 4 mana, get a copy of the cards. If they play anything big, you know what you don't get to do? You don't get to play it because you don't have the mana for it. If they played a bunch of small cards, you can kind of get that. You can hold this. I mean, it's not bad, but it's still 4 mana. I don't see it working. Like, the I win cards, you're not going to get them until it's too late. It's 4 mana to draw 2 or draw 3. You kind of don't want to do that. I just say 2 stars. Holy Spring Water. 2 mana, restore 8 health to damaged character. Save any excess in a 1-cost bottle. So the little thing that Priest got is that they have put any excess into another 1-cost spell. And then you have cards that will benefit from this. Yay! So this one, it's still 2 mana to heal, and then you get extra heal for a 3rd. Not worth it. Not worth it. I don't even think it triggers overheal because it heals right to the point. So you don't even get the overheal off of it, which might be the use for it. So what is it? It's 1 star. Invasive Shadeleaf. Deal 8 damage to enemy minion, save any excess in a 1-cost bottle. This is good. I'm not going to say it's not good. You can deal 8 damage, control to 2 separate minions for 5 mana. That's good. This is 4 stars, but it's value, its removal. It's not nearly enough for Priest. Swarm of Lightning. Summon 10/10, summons N, 1/1 light bugs with lifesteal, save any excess in a 1-cost bottle. The light bugs are just 1/1s. They have lifesteal, nothing special on them. A board of 1/1s just doesn't do anything. Priest doesn't have like any massive board buffs like Druid does, or like other classes would have. Like they don't even have an excavate package, so they can't even use the excavate thing. So you basically fill with a very weak board, then you get to fill with a very weak board again. You get some healing, but you know what? You're not going to be able to get a win because no one is going to care. It's decent. It's value. It does force your opponents to trade a little bit. That's why it's 3 stars, but it's not nearly enough for Priest. Thirsty Drifter. 6 mana, 4/6 taunt, costs 1 less for each 1-cost card you've played this game. If you can play a few 1-cost cards, this is good. You've obviously got the other cards, but none of them are really good. So, like, are you going to be able to get this down to cheap enough where it's going to matter? Probably not. This is a constructed thing. if that. I would say 2 stars. Benevolent Banker. Discover a spell from your deck, quick draw the enemy deck instead. So it's a decent stat of 3 drop. You get a spell. Spells are good. You get to pick enemy spells and you get to steal it from their deck. So overall, good. I mean, this is useful. It's not enough for Priest. So I would just say 4 stars. Alright. Posse Possession. Summon a 4/4 copy of a random minion in your opponent's hand. You get a 4 mana 4/4. Maybe it gets Taunt, maybe it gets Rush, maybe it gets Lifesteal. It's not worth it. Like, you use this to, like, get, like, a Titan or something like that. It's a 2-star card at best. Elise, if your deck has no duplicates, summon 4/4 copies of 4 random minions in your deck. So if you do build a no-dupe deck, this is really, really powerful if you can get it off, because this is the kind of like complete bullshit board that your opponent is going to have a difficult time playing against. And this is one of those ones where I thought, because you can build around this, I'm going to move this up to a 90, and I'm going to say it's a 5-star card. So the reason for this is you get a board, very few people can handle that board, but your priests, you don't really get the pressure on the board, so there is a chance that they can handle it eventually. But this is the kind of thing where you just win if you play this on curve, you hold this if you play this on curve. Might be underrating it with the current arena there. Final card. Pip the potent copy, each one cost card in your hand. Why do you need extra 1-cost cards? I mean, 2 stars, barely. So again, Priest got a couple of cool things, but they didn't get that much. Let's see another class. What other class got something cool? Rogue! Rogue got the worst set. Rogue got the worst set. They got the worst excavate. They got the worst cards. They have nothing good going for them. Like outside the legendary, it's just garbage. It's complete fucking garbage. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's get through Rogue and how complete garbage they are. All right, Blackrock Shovel. 1 mana 1/3 weapon. That's fine, except in Rogue where you have the hero powers. You're kind of wasting card on this. Death Rattle, Excavated Treasure, because you need to kill this 3 times to excavate a treasure. Probably the worst excavate card of any other card. It's a 2-star card. Like, this is one of those, just like, why? Triple 7s. Deal 7 damage to a minion, draw 7 cards. Alright. So the thing with this card is 7 mana, deal 7 damage to a minion, draw 7 cards. There's a point where drawing cards is pointless. Like, so you get to fill your hand, yay. You get to deal 7 damage to a minion, like not even face. Like, I mean, you think about it. Firelands Portal is 7 mana and can go 6 damage face. This can't even go face. So that's how bad this is. It has to be a minion. And you get to draw 7 cards. So unless you're like vomiting your hand to play this and completely refill your hand, I don't think it's going to, like, that's situational. It's a 3-star card. I think it's one of those cards you can't take 2 of because you'll just literally burn through your deck. It's a one-off card. It's, in a lot of cases, it's not even going to be close to enough. So, yeah, I'm just done there. All right. Stick Up. Discover a quick draw card from another class. Quick draw cards are good. 1 mana discovers are good. We know what this is. This is a 3-star card. Not much needs to be said here. Antique Flinger. If you've excavated twice, discover an enemy minion. As mentioned, Rogue has 1 excavate card, and that card is garbage. So you're going to be reliant on neutral cards or picking the legendary with your first pick. So which one are you going to do? I don't know. If you picked a legendary, maybe this is useful. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be a 5/4. So ultimately, I think 3-star card. Shogun. There's Shogun. Get a random epic, rare, and common card from other classes. So 3 mana, gain 3 cards, but they're random cards. They're from other classes, and you don't know what's going to happen with them. So ultimately, I don't think this is that great. I would rather draw 2 cards from my class than 3 random cards from another class. I think 2-star card. Bounty Wrangler. Combo, quick draw combo, get a coin. Coins are good. This is a 3/4. You can easily get a coin. You can play this on 2. You can coin this out on 2, get your coin back, then coin out of 4. There's a lot of good things that you can do with this. There's not much that needs to be said here. Not much thought process. Energy needs to be put into thinking about it. It's a 3-star card. It's average. Dart throw. Throw 2 darts at random enemy minions. If they hit the same minion, get a coin. So you have a single minion with 4 health. You play this. You get the coin back. Coins are good. Yay. Or you play this on 2 enemy minions that are at 2 health. You get to kill 2 things. That is fine. So overall, decent removal. I got 3 stars. 1 second. Wishing Well. In my written review, I made a point here. I said, this card might be a card that, as garbage as it is, you pick it because the bullshit factor on this card is so strong that it might just be worth it. I mean, it's a garbage card, but it's there was the warrior card, the one that turned your deck into nothing but 5 mana or higher cards, and they all cost 5. The Flames of Zerashi or something like that. And that ended up being, when Warrior was a bad class, an incredibly powerful card, because that basically because the RNG aspect of it was so good that it replaced the garbage Warrior deck. So same thing happening here with Wishing Well. Rogue might be such an absolute complete fucking shit class that playing a Wishing Well and just hoping you get coin cards and then going off with your coins with this might be a viable strategy. Like, that's how bad this is. It's still a 0-star card, but I would not fault you or anyone who tried to make this work. Drilly the Kid. 4 mana, 4/3, battle cry, quick draw, death rattle, excavated treasure. So you play this, you get two excavate treasures. That's really good. You can do this with the quick draw, get a 3rd. You can bounce this with things, and you can get multiples of it. Like, this is why Rogue's, treasure is meant to have 8, because you're going to have things like this, and you're going to try to do Rogue shenanigans to get to 8. So, Drilly the Kid, overall, 4/3, gets you a few cards. So that's a 4-star card. That's good. Worth it. I don't really know. Last one here. Velorok Windbraid. While this is in your hand, play 3 cards from other classes to reveal Velorok's true form. By the way, remember, we only got Shell Game. We got Shell Game and Stick Up that gets you cards from other classes. So you don't have that many cards here in this set. So what do you get? You get 3/6 charge. After this attacks, discover a card from another class. It costs 3 less. So remember, this has to be in your hand when you play this. And that is the key thing that holds it back. Like, if it was in your deck and it was like if it was in your deck and play 5 cards or something like that, that would be a lot better. But in your hand, I think that's way too situational. I think it's not something you want to do. I think it's an average card. Oh, 2 stars. And then finally, the Azurite Scorpion. So the Azurite Scorpion, get 4 random spells. If you've excavated 8 times, they cost 0. So the idea is you excavate 8 times, and now you have the Azurite Scorpions. That gives you, now you have 2 Azurite Scorpions, and both of them give you 4 random spells, and you get 8 random spells in total, and these spells each cost 0, and then you get to do like fun and rogue shit with that. That's the constructed idea. The arena idea, I've already shown you. Rogue Excavate is limited to a legendary, and you're only going to get 1, or a very bad common card. And if you pick the legendary, you got to like build an entire deck around it. And is that worth it? I don't think that's worth it. And that is Mage, Paladin, Priest, and Rogue. And then the last video, and then after that I'll start uploading these on YouTube. I might do sometime over the weekend. I might do like a Cavern of Times thing. Probably not today. So the next video is going to be Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. Okay, I will see you guys in those videos next. Take care.